Hi guys, it's Uncle Perv here. I got a lot of questions on my AMA about like what I think has led to my consistency and so much of the progress that I've had. And my biggest answer to a lot of those things was this that you see right in front of you, which is just the way that I um, track my progress over time. So I'll flip over, and you can see um, what some of my actual notes look like. So you can see, like I said, I'm sort of neurotic about the way that I record all of this stuff. But let me go back to my example page. So there's a basic template that I'm going to show you today that really has worked for me. And it is exactly this set out in front of you. So what I do is in the upper left hand corner, I write the date. You're going to start out measuring your pre-bone press stretch flaccid length, your post-bone press stretch flaccid length, and I just separate those with a little slash. Once you're done with your session, you can write your post-session, and then you divide this number, or you divide this number into this number, and then you will get your percent of elongation. Underneath, you'll write the various methods that you use. And then in this column, you'll write the time that you used those methods. So say, for example, you did an apex extending for 50 minutes. That's where you would write that. And then if you did apex extending, you could write that you did it at 55 millimeters, or at 8 pounds. Or down here, if we did pump for 30 minutes, we would write -5 HG or whatever you used. So, and then across the page, I always write my notes about the session here. So, to break it down, for an example, we'll say that we trained on Valentine's Day, so we did 214. Our bone press stretch flaccid length was 230 millimeters. Post was 238 millimeters. And so if we divide this into this, then we get 3.4%. So we can see 3.4%. So we did good. We achieved our 2% plus. And so our methods were interval apex, 45 minutes at 10 pounds. And then after that, we did interval pump, 20 minutes for -10 HG. So you can see again, that's what we've got. We've got our methods column. So we've got our time, and then we've got weight and pressure, and then our percent of elongation. So over here again, we've got. I just came up with some notes like I would normally write. So let's say if 238 millimeters. And this is actually true for me because I just copied this whole thing out of, like, I think this was actually my last session that I did, and I got 3.4% and ended at 238 millimeters. And so for me, that was a post session bone press stretch flaccid length record. So I wrote that, and then I write things like did tunica release for 10 minutes or something like that. So yeah, guys, this is really simple, but like I said in the AMA that I did, I credit this to most of my success, and I'll show you a couple of the things that So like right here, you can see a note that I wrote that says that, like, it says TRT is magic because I did a new length record, and let me see. Here, this is really important to see because this session, I didn't even bother writing the percentage because it was just so piss poor. It was 233. So what I noticed was I actually went up in my weight. So normally I do 55 millimeters, and I did 52.5 millimeters on the apex. It says overtraining resulted in shorter than normal post-session length, or perhaps scraping isn't as effective as using my hands. So in this training session, I apparently tried scraping. So it looks like I did scraping for 10 minutes, and then I did a static apex. So it looks like the next session I went back to the regular tunica release technique, and I experienced a 3 to 3.5% elongation. So you can see static apex, tunica release technique for 52 minutes, 50 millimeters, static pump, 10 HG. And it looks like I don't really know how long I was in it. I might have had an interruption or something like that. And then you can see another session that I did here a few days later, static apex and static pump, 50 minutes, 50 millimeters. And so I got 4.4% there. So yeah, you can see that it's really important. Also, I made a note, like I started BPC 157 injections on this date, and so that's how I know where I am in that cycle. So yeah, again, you can write yourself little notes, and according to your notes and looking at the percentages that you've gotten, I do a lot of experimenting, and so you can see a lot of times I'll have different things that I write, but you can look at your notes, and then you can look at your percentages, and you can really decide what actually works for you. So again, this is what I consider to be an intelligent approach to penis enlargement. And guys, if you really want something that is going to change the overall success rate of your PE, this is going to be the biggest thing. Because if you don't track, then you don't really know what you've been doing, and you don't know what's worked and what hasn't, so you're just flying in the dark. All right, guys, well, thanks, and I will see you later.